Have you ever had your own parents threaten to take your home away? I bought my first house during the housing market crash. It wasn't fancy, just a small starter home, but it was mine. I saved for it, bought it on my own, and lived there for nearly a decade before moving into a bigger place with my husband. Not long after that, my parents asked if they could live in my old house. They'd had a foreclosure in the past, so there was no chance of them getting a mortgage on their own. My dad was retired after heart surgery, my mom didn't work, and they wanted something smaller and easier to maintain. I agreed, mostly because I wanted my dad to have a comfortable retirement after working a tough job for 36 years. The deal we set up was simple. They would use part of a six-figure inheritance to pay off the $50,000 left on the mortgage, and in exchange, I would treat that payment as prepaid rent. All they had to cover was property taxes and insurance, which came to about $350 a month. We wrote up a formal lease, included the prepayment arrangement, had it notarized, and signed everything. Their names were listed as tenants, but the deed stayed in my name. This setup had been working smoothly for about 4 years, until $3 broke everything. The insurance went up slightly, and I told my parents their rent would increase by $3 a month. That's it. $3. My mother absolutely lost it. She screamed that I was greedy, that she'd put money into the house, and that I owed her. She claimed I couldn't evict her because the house was hers now. Then she went even further, saying that if we ended up in court, the judge would give her my house. The lease clearly states she is a tenant. I'm the only one on the deed. But logic has never been my mom's strong suit. She threatened to rip out her garden and the cosmetic things she added, as if that somehow gave her ownership. My dad, who usually folds under her pressure, asked to see my bills, like I was secretly pocketing their money. I sent copies of the tax statements and insurance bills, all addressed to their rental. I even pointed out that I was charging them a discounted rate because I paid the property taxes in advance to qualify for a reduction. Instead of apologizing, my mom doubled down. She accused me of trying to make her cover my personal home insurance, claimed insurance costs hadn't risen in a decade, and repeated that the house was really hers. I told her flat out, talk to a lawyer, they'll tell you the truth. Apparently, that didn't go over well because the next thing I know, she's threatening to divorce my dad. Again, the crazy part is that this $3 fight is just the latest in a lifetime of red flags. When I was a teenager, I paid my parents $200 a week in rent after high school, working 65 hours on top of school until I could finally move out. The second I did, they foreclosed again. Later, I put my mom on my phone plan and she only paid me for 3 months out of 2 years, leaving me to cover her bill. She promised to help with my wedding, never did. She stopped paying for clothes or school expenses when I was 16. She's an alcoholic, always self-centered, and always manages to make her messes my responsibility. I think I ignored the obvious because I trusted my dad more and I wanted to help him enjoy retirement after everything he'd sacrificed. But my mom, she has always been entitled, manipulative, and toxic. And now she thinks a judge will just hand over my house. The house I bought, maintained, and rented to them for far below market value. The house that could easily fetch $2,000 a month on the open market. But instead, I let them have for just a fraction of that. $3 exposed the whole truth. My mom doesn't want a rental arrangement. She wants ownership. She wants control. And when she doesn't get her way, she threatens to burn everything down. Her marriage, her family, and whatever relationships she has left. I won't lie, it hurts. Especially while I've been dealing with health problems she knows about but ignores. But I'm done letting her bully me into submission. I'm keeping the lease, keeping the house, and if she doesn't like it, she can find out what the rent is like in the real world.